Right then, so today I'm going to be going over the top 5 things I love and the top 5 things I hate about this. When I was making the script for this video, I realised there was actually quite a few things that I strongly dislike about the Scirocco, and some are from manufacturer, VW themselves, and some are with the aftermarket section of Sciroccos. Obviously, if you are new to this channel, please like and subscribe. It means a lot. Comment what you want to see next. Also helps me out thinking of new ideas on the channel. And quickly, before I do get into anything, the verdict with the 350Z. The 350Z has sold. There is a new car coming on the channel within the next week after perhaps. 100%. It's one of my dream cars that I have went and purchased. However, I've got to do something to it first before I can showcase it on the channel, if that makes sense. The whole crack with the 350Z anyway wasn't to keep and modify per se, it was to buy, sell, make money in hopes to buy something else, really. The Nissan 350Z I'm not going to slate, them cool cars, I can see why everybody loves them, but I'm more of a Toyota person anyway when it comes to classic chap cars. I'm going to get into this video, go on what I love, go on what I absolutely hate about my 2016 VW Scirocco. So first thing first, I absolutely love about the Scirocco. Why this car was my achievable second car that I really wanted is the aggressive look that these have, especially with the R conversion bumper on the front as well. In terms of the front modifications anyway, how I've got it to look like this is generally just the front bumper and a Maxton design splitter that has cracked somewhere. I'm not too bothered about it cracking, if I'm honest. It's very minor, very minimal. I wish it had the better skirts on. However, you can always add them on. That's the one last thing I need to do really to this car, so I can say it's complete. In terms of the alloys, I'm running the Riviera ROF 108 19 inches in like a dark gun smoke metal grey. They're quite dirty at the moment, hence they don't look like that. But normally they're like a nice diamond cut finish sort of colour. Beautiful. Then in terms of the rear, got the dual exit exhausts, Maxton diffuser, side diffuser, the actual like R bumper sort of thing, because it's got those canards on what look amazing. Ignore all the fingerprints on it, again it's filthy, and then the Maxton design front splitter. But in terms of looks, that's all I've done to it really. I know it sounds like quite a lot. I've done about 6 things to the exterior, and now it looks as aggressive as this, I guess. So the second thing I absolutely adore about my Scirocco is the sound it makes when it's opened up, when I'm on a back road or a nice flat, and you can actually try and give it some. I'll put a clip on the video now showing what it looks like. However, I have done a full dedicated video to my exhaust system, so if you want to go and give that a watch, I'll leave the playlist to the Scirocco in the description. Go ahead and give that a watch. It's quite a good video, I think. It sounds unreal, but if you're not going to watch it, I'll talk you through it. It's got a 3.5 inch custom built downpipe with a 200 cell sports cat. It's got a smaller resonator and then a very small back box on the rear. So essentially it is a full custom exhaust system, and it sounds the way it does. So if you like it, you love it obviously, and now you know. If you are wondering who done it, it was actually a place called MIJ in Warsaw. They're massive. They've been in the custom exhaust game for absolutely years, more than I've been alive, I think. So if you're going to take it anywhere, take it to them. And then the third thing I can't really show you around the car on is the power of the car. Now, I have had this car stage 1 tuned or mapped, whatever you call it. So it's now pushing roughly 280 to 300 brake on a good day. It's more than enough for everyday driving. Obviously, this car is restricted with a smaller turbo and the smaller injectors, whatnot, than a Golf R would have, and obviously being front-wheel drive. And the gearbox lets it down massively, so if you want to push any more power through it, you can't if it's a DSG, because the torque will destroy your gearbox. I've had it happen to me. It's an expensive repair. Don't do it. I think this is running about 450 torque now, 450 newton meters. It pulls like a train in all gears, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. It's absolutely insane. On the motorway, in 6th gear, it's cruising along and you want to overtake somebody, you have the torque there to pull you through. It's insane. Obviously, that is optional. There's a bit of a controversy about getting your car tuned. Obviously, there's a lot of things to go wrong I can talk from experience about it. So try and trust a well reputable tuner, I guess. Artec is obviously the one everybody likes to send their VWs to, or VAGs. They're the best in the game. I can't really show in videos how quick the car is. In the exhaust video I've done, it also kind of shows how quick the car is, sort of thing, because I've got the GoPro mounted on the back. But it's a different car. It's stupid fast now, especially for a 20-year-old. 300 brake for a 20-year-old. So the fourth thing I love about these cars, and I've got to sit down in the actual car to talk about this one, is the price of these cars alone. Now, Scirocco's are mostly for everybody, them for people that just want a car to drive, them for people that want a nice car, and people who want a reliable car. Same with the Golf, really. Them suited for most people, unless if you have kids, really, because they're only 3 doors. But price-wise, you could pick an 18-plate one up there for 12.5 grand. Obviously, it varies to 14, 16. I mean, that's an R for 16, another R for 18, these are more R's. All for a roughly similar spec as mine as well. I've got the miles to help mine out a lot. I bought this car with about 40,000 miles on. To be fair, now it's only got 52,000 miles on it. It had a big hiccup in the middle of it somewhere when it was broken and didn't get used for 5 months, but it's back now. But 12 grand for this car is nothing, really. I know it's still a lot of money, £12,000, however, when it comes to cars. You can either go and buy a Mark 8 Fiesta for £12,000, or you can buy a 2-litre DS3 petrol facelift Scirocco that has all you want. And in terms of spec as well, it's got cruise control, climate control, the thing with your windows. Doesn't have Apple CarPlay, but it's only £100. If you am asked about it, I'm not that bothered, so I just said no. Doesn't have a panoramic roof either. I have said the next car I want, I definitely want a pan roof, especially when it's summer, when England thought, you know what, we have a sun, let's get it through. Even if you want something to modify like me, £12,000, you can either have a Polo GTI for that money or a bit less. But that's for my spec as well. If you wanted a 1.4 manual or something, or a diesel, or an older one even, you can get them for under 7 grand, 5 grand. I think you can get them for as cheap as 4 grand, but when you start getting lower, obviously, the more of the problems you might occur with, especially with welding. That I've seen a lot of Sciroccos, the pre-facelifts have had to have welding for some reason that I've seen on Facebook. And then the fifth thing that I love about the VW Scirocco is the same as a VW Golf, is you could throw these into a corner at 50 and have them on understeer, and you know they're going to come out perfectly fine. I've had mine slammed on its feet with about 40mm drop on some coilovers. Yes, I can't go certain places if there's bumps or potholes anymore. However, it does drive alright. People think coilovers, it's really stiff, your ride goes. It does a bit, I'll admit. However, it's a small thing to sacrifice really to have a slammed car. It handles amazing around the corners. You know full well, as I said, you could go around the corner however quick you want, and you know you could control the car around that corner. But yeah, if they're definitely the same with the Golfs. Obviously, my family have all got Golfs. We've all been VW driven as kids, and my dad has always been Toyota and VW driven as a kid. So I've always had the best of both worlds, really. And they've had Golf GTIs throughout their whole life, and Sciroccos. He had a pre-facelift Scirocco when it first came out, and now he's got a Mark 6 GTI, I think. That's the exact same. You put that into a corner, him coming out that corner happy welly, while I'm with some fun around it. They handle incredible. I haven't took this to a track yet, because I'm too bothered about it being broken. However, I would like to take it to a track soon. I just need to grow up and just book one for this car. A lot of them have sound limits. I don't know if this will be. I don't think it will be too loud, but I'm pretty strict on it, I believe. So now then, the things I hate about the Scirocco. Now, there is a few that I'm not happy about. The thing that I hate about my Scirocco when I first bought it is the fact that this engine is a 2-litre turbo petrol engine. But this car stock only had 180 brake, what is not enough, really. It got boring very, very fast. So that's why when I went and had it tuned and the mechatronics blew up because there was too much torque going through it, I was left without this car for about 4 or 5 months, and I was bored of the power when I had it back anyway after a few weeks, months, whatever. The stock 0 to 60 time on this was about 7.7 seconds, what isn't very great for what it could have been. Now with a map it's 5.4 seconds, if that makes sense. So 7.7 seconds may seem great to some, however that's what it was really capable of. When I first mapped it, it went up 100 to 120 brake. That's a lot for one tune. But the engine can take the tune, if that makes sense. This is why it's really stupid. It's the most tuned down engine I've ever seen in my life. And I'm a mechanic. I work with cars all day, every day. And this is the most stupid one I've seen. Obviously, it's the Blue Motion, I think. So it's meant to be better for the economy, better on miles per gallon. What's a lie, because I'll go on to that in a second. But it's just meant to be more world friendly. So they've had to tune it down anyway. But obviously with a simple tune, that all goes out the window. And then you have power. So the second thing I hate about this car also, what technically isn't my fault or VW or the manufacturer's fault, is you need to do your research before you buy this car. I didn't. I sort of did. I was 18 when I had this, and obviously if you're from the UK, you know car insurances, when they see an opportunity to sting you, I'm going to sting you. I was paying over £4,000 a year when I had this car on insurance alone. I'm very lucky and fortunate enough that I had this outright. I didn't have to finance it, otherwise I would generally have been so broke every month, having to pay for the car, the insurance, the tax, the fuel, and any little bits I wanted to do to it. Insurance never really got much better either. This new car I've got coming on the channel very soon, I've been able to do a multi-car insurance with it, so with this and that. I don't want to spill too much about that car yet, because that car is going to be insane. My opinion, it might just be a touch better than this. I don't know though, you guys will have to let me know. I'm paying £280 a month for this car and the next car. What's quite a lot still. However, if you work it out, it's about £140 a month. So it's not as bad when you think of it that way. And I can live with that. That's not that bad. But if I'm a young driver, me personally, I would opt for a 1.4. But in the facelift, I don't think you can get a DSG, or if you can, it's very, very hard to get a 1.4 petrol DSG in the facelift. So just keep that in mind. Definitely do your research before buying one of these cars, and definitely look at maintenance costs as well, because these cars do have a secondary water pump that I'm prone to failing, and TPS, who are VW's main part supplier, want £500 for the parts. What's great. Mine's gone twice. Luckily I didn't pay that for it, but them still very expensive water pumps, and them very awkward to fit as well. So just keep that in mind. To be honest, the rest of the things I hate I can't really shout on the car, because everything I do hate I have already changed. But the other thing I really hate is how high they are stock. The back arches and the front arches are ridiculous out the factory. I will put a picture on the screen now, obviously, of what one looks like, and they am just stupid. I'm so stupid. Obviously, you could pick up a decent set of coilovers for 300 quid. Obviously, people with money will put on airbags. I would love to have done, but them too expensive. Or BC Racing coilovers, or just something along them lines. I'm running Stance Plus, what did generally cost me £270, and I fitted them myself as well. So, you know, that's an affordable mod, really. Drastically change it. It didn't only change the look, but it also changed the handling of the car itself. My camera is turned off twice because it's too hot. The fourth thing that I hate about the Scirocco is if you want to modify it, there's not particularly much selection to go from. Maximum kit, there's about 2 variants of each one, so you can't be that unique. Exhaust, there's millions of options, but none fit this car. Paddles, it's a different actual flappy paddle on it, so that doesn't fit. The ones on the Golf, some a bit thinner. The ones on these are chunky. You can't put a virtual cockpit in from a Mark 7 Golf. You have to go like a little bit aftermarket, like I have. The one good thing is the steering wheel fit the first time. Virtual cockpit and steering wheel is what I've done a video on. I definitely recommend both of them. They're a game changer. Brakes, you can't buy anything brake related without it being a fortune. Suspension, you can't find much selection for the suspension really. However, it's like a similar system to the Mark 6 Golfs, I think. I'm not 100% sure if it's the same as the Mark 7 GTI or anything. I haven't really ever worked on a Mark 7 GTI to tell the difference. So if you do know that, let me know in the comments. I like learning new things about this car. But yeah, you just got to keep that in mind, that if you do want to modify it, you have got to keep an eye on that. It is going to be a ball ache to try and do it, because there's not a whole lot of selection. Another thing I love is VW aircon, is absolutely amazing. Ice cold, beautiful when it's 22 degrees outside. Lovely jubbly. But the fifth and final thing I hate about the Scirocco is the running costs of them. I'm not going to include insurance, however, fuel is about £50 a week. Brakes, when they go wrong, or suspension go wrong, I've swapped all mine out for new anyway. Servicing, I service every 6 months as well, so that's about £200. Tyres, these tyre sizes are 235, 35, 19. I'm running land sales on them. I do need to get some Pilot Sports on it at some point, obviously. But if you was buying Pilot Sports and you're just a regular person, not in the trade, you're looking about 230, 240 a tyre anyway. So that's almost £1,000 on tyres, which is ridiculous. I know the tyres are like 160 to me, and that's a lot of money for a tyre. And I've gone through so many tyres in the 2 years of ownership of this car. It's not great at all. Water pump if it goes wrong, gearbox if that goes wrong. You know, water pump alone is 500 quid just for the part, as I said earlier. My gearbox repair, I don't want to say on camera, to be honest, because I will say on camera. My gearbox repair was £4,500, strictly because nobody knew what was wrong with it. So we had to diagnose it, new clutches, open it up, re-grease the sliders, all that stuff. And then it turns out it was the mechatronics that had gone, so we had to ship one from Germany. However, that's the only 5 things I hate about the car, and the 5 things I love a lot more about the car still, and just the 5 things that I like quite a lot. Do I recommend buying a Scirocco? Yes. But yeah, if you have kids, probably not. Obviously, some people that have kids will say, oh, the Scirocco is great for it. That's up to you. I don't have kids, I don't know. But if you're a 20-year-old kid that likes half-decent quick cars, buy a Scirocco. Be unique, be different. It's great. Great fun. But yeah, I'm going to leave this video here because my GoPro keeps getting hot. It's 22 degrees in England. Exciting. If you did enjoy, please hit the like, subscribe, comment what you want to see next as well on the channel, as it helps me out. The new car is coming either next Monday or the Monday after. I'm not 1,000,000% sure yet, but that car I am definitely buying to keep, and I'm going to try my best to full send it. At this age, I want it to be way quicker than this one. I want this car to put this car to shame, sort of thing. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all on the next one.